Hello, fellow book lovers, both readers and writers. I am Matty Dalrymple. I write the Ann Kinnear Suspense Novels and Suspense Shorts and the Lizzy Ballard Thrillers, and I also write, speak, podcast, and consult on the writing craft and the publishing voyage as the indie author. And this is my video series, What I Learned, where I ask authors two questions related to their latest book. What did they learn from that book that they would like to share with their fellow writers? And what did they learn that they would like to share with their fellow readers? And I'm here today with Paty Jager. Hey, Paty, how are you doing?
Hi, doing good.
I'm happy to have you here. And just to give our viewers a little bit of background on you, Paty Jager is the award-winning author of the Shandra Higheagle mysteries and the Gabriel Hawke novels, and now the Spotted Pony Casino mysteries. All her work has Western or Native American elements in them, along with hints of humor and engaging characters. Paty and her husband raise alfalfa hay in rural Eastern Oregon. Riding horses and battling rattlesnakes, she not only writes the Western lifestyle, she lives it. And her latest book is The Pinch. And so today I'm asking Paty the two What I Learned questions about The Pinch, starting with what did you learn that you would like to share with your fellow writers?
Okay, what I'd like to share with my fellow writers is I started out putting this book in a real spot, a real casino, tribal casino. And as I got going and I kept having more and more characters who worked there being bad people, I decided that wouldn't be a good idea to use the real casino. So I ended up changing the name, changing up a little bit of elements about it so that I could make the people be they could continue to be bad, but it wasn't showing a bad light on a real place. So that was my one of my things that I did. And the other one is no matter how much research you do, you never do enough. I did a trip to the casino. I talked to people there. And then I turned around and boom, I had like 6 questions about things I needed to know about the workings of the casino. And once I changed it over to a fictional casino, then I didn't have to know exactly how it worked. I could make it work how I wanted it to. So that's kind of my information for a writer is you don't always have to put it in a real place, especially if you're going to have bad guys and put a bad spin on that place. And sometimes it's good to have a fictional place so you can not have to go and find all the little minutia of what that business does so that you can make the book work.
I actually ran into that exact thing. I had a casino in my last Lizzy Ballard book called Scare Card, and exactly the same thing. A bad thing happens in a back hallway of the casino and say, yeah, we're not going to use a real name there.
Yes, well, definitely has to be taken out.
Yeah. So did you find that did you base some of your facts on a real casino, but just tweaked it enough to protect the innocent? Or did you just completely come up with the setting from your imagination?
No, I used the real because a friend and I went over and actually spent a weekend at the casino. She was running around telling everybody we were doing murder and mayhem. But that was fun because she's more outgoing than I am, so she would get people to talk to us, and then I could start asking my questions without feeling like I was bugging people. But it was kind of fun. But I talked to some of the security people. I talked to some of the people, room people that clean the rooms, housekeeping. We went around looking to see where all the cameras were, so we could figure out how somebody could get out of a room and not be seen, or what have you, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we had a good time.
That is a lot of fun. And I'm always surprised how willing people are to tell you almost anything if you tell them that you're an author, a mystery author, a thriller author. They're perfectly happy to share some
Yeah,
surprising facts.
it is surprising what they will help you with. Yeah, but
I'm not a casino frequenter myself, but I also have this couple of scenes set in a casino. And so I was in Las Vegas for 20 Books Vegas this past year. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to be able to talk to some people in this casino. I found that people in the casino are actually somewhat more suspicious about talking to people than people in, for example, the NTSB, who I had to contact for another thing. And I was like, well, I could kind of understand why both of them would be a little leery of just telling people about like security procedures. But
right.
um,
Well,
yeah.
that's like when I was talking to the security people in there. There was 3 of them standing there, and I'm writing a book and I'm using a casino, and I just have some questions, you know. And it was kind of funny because the 2 guys said, "Oh, well, she can help you better than we can." Yeah, but they still stood there and listened. But I asked all the questions of the female officers that was there, security. It was funny. So yeah, so they helped me quite a bit with that. And then yeah, when you just walk around asking people, they're not as good. But see, I have the Spotted Pony Casino series, and I actually had a woman who worked in the casino but didn't work there anymore. She gave me a lot of really good information that has helped me with that series. So
Yeah, when you can find those kinds of contacts, you protect them like gold because it's hard to find people who are both knowledgeable and also to, brainstorm about fictional plots,
right,
not get too hung up on the literal details of how
yeah.
something would work.
Yeah, yeah. I have my son-in-law is with the state police, and I will every once in a while I say, "Well, I want to do this. Is that okay? Can I do this? Is it whatever?" And he goes, "Well, legally, it would be this, 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 and this." He said, "But you're writing fiction. You could get away with it." So he's really good about that. And then there's other policemen I talk to, and they'll go, "Oh, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't do that. That won't work that way. You have to do this. You can't do that." And I'm like, okay. So it's just, yeah, it just depends on how hardcore they think that your book has to be, but it's fiction. You do want to get everything right, but at the same time, you want to make your plot interesting.
Well, I
So,
just had a interesting conversation on the Indie Author Podcast with a mutual friend of ours, Pamela Fagan Hutchins,
oh,
who was talking about writing police procedurals, which she had not written before she joined Book Tour, and how she was talking exactly the same kind of conversation we're having now about the value of finding those experts who can sympathize with a fiction writer's need.
right,
And I'm trying to think how she worded it. It was sort of like it's not should it happen, it's could it happen.
right,
Because if you're writing a book that's all about, like, somebody following all the rules, then it's probably
right,
not gonna be very interesting.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. So we've talked a little bit about what you learned that you'd like to share with your fellow writers. How about readers? What would you like to share about the pinch that you would like to share with your fellow readers?
Your characters can be deceiving. As I started writing this book, at the beginning of every book, I always sit down and I make my suspect chart because I know who's going to be killed and I know why they're going to be killed. But I don't but I try to make the suspect chart so that I have several options of who actually did it. And I always think, okay, it's going to be this one. And in that book, it turned out to not be who I thought it was gonna be. It turned out to be the sympathetic person, and it was just it was kind of it was interesting because I like when that happens. I like when my own brain had already put in all of the little clues, and I had when I went back in, I'm like, "Oh, it's this person. Okay, now I gotta go do this," and I went back in and looked, and I didn't have to fix it. I already had. I just didn't know I had.
I think that's so fun. I also do think that sophisticated mystery writers know that you have to point a finger as at much at the guilty party as the innocent parties, because otherwise readers are reading along and said, "Oh, well, there's nothing that points to character C, so it must be character C." You don't want that to happen. So
Right,
that's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I tend to always everybody's got red herrings and everybody's got reasons they could or would have done it or whatever. So yeah, it makes it fun.
Have there been any mystery authors that you think do a particularly good job that you have used as models for that approach?
Um, I think I've been reading a lot of Sujata Masi's. Hers are set in India, and they're so subtle because she will have that one person that you think, okay, it is this person. It's got to be this person. And then towards the end, you're like, oh my goodness, okay, no, it's not that one. And then there's who was the last one I read? I didn't get it. I tend to usually figure it out. I think it was in one of Kelly Garrett's books that I was reading, and I'm like, "Oh, did not see that coming," type of thing. So then you go back. So then, yeah, you got to go back through and kind of go through and say, "Oh, yeah, she did give us the clues. It was there. It was just so subtle that you didn't figure on that person." So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what's fun about mysteries is you not only you're gonna have a good end, but it's that guessing along and seeing if you can figure it out what the writer has done, that little puzzle as you're going through it. I think that's what makes them so fun.
Yeah, it's super fun to read very skilled mystery authors as a craft exercise, read through it and then then get to the end, see who it was, and then go back and reread it and see what were the red herrings or the clues they planted for the reader.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that.
So cool. Well, we just wanted to give people a little teaser so they'll be encouraged to go check out The Pinch. And so, Patty, thanks so much for chatting with me. And please let everyone know where they can go to find out more about you and your work online.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. You can go to pattyjager.net. That's my website. And I have links there that will take you to either ebooks, print books, or audiobooks of all three of my mystery series. And you can also purchase my print books from my website.
Perfect.
So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.